Delta State is a state in the south-south geopolitical zone of Nigeria. It was named after the Niger Delta and is one of the main oil-producing states in the country. Delta State boasts of different ethnic groups like Urhobo, Ika and Aniocha-Oshimili-Ukwuani, the Isokos, the Ijaws, the Itsekiris. The Isoko people are an ethnolinguistic group who inhabit the Isoko of Delta State and Bayelsa State, Nigeria. Now, the Isoko people are known for farming, fishing, and the production of palm oil and kernels. There are also petroleum-producing fields in the area inhabited by the Isoko people. But the level of development in the region is still far from what it should be. Joining us in the studio to discuss the development of the Isoko community is the President, Isoko Development Union, Lagos State, and lecturer in UNILAG, Dr. Dan Ekere. Isoko Wado, have you
you got it, yes. Isoko Wado, yeah. Siegware, yeah. You're on track. In fact, we are bringing you there. You need to be there, you know. And my brother here, who is our in-law, you have no reason not to be there. No reason whatsoever.
Very good.
Yes. we're all in the same family.
You have to go there. Right. It's good to see you, and well done on what you're doing for your development union, so to speak. But that's why we are here today, to talk about the Isoko community.
Thank you.
People often say that culture is a people's identity, their way of life. It, captures all of that. So talk to us about the Isoko people. Now we can see the attire.
Exactly. You see, this is part of our regalia.
Yes.
Yeah. With this, you can easily tell that this man is either Isoko or Urhobo, because we have
similarities.
The Isoko people of the south, particularly in Delta and Bayelsa, are peace-loving people, people who are rooted in culture, people who cherish their culture so much, people who over the years have contributed immensely to the development of Nigeria as a state, people who have over the years demonstrated, their good neighborliness to all their, neighbors and all of that. But over the years equally, we have always been mistaken, especially in this part of the country, for Igbos. The moment you are not Yoruba, you are not outside, the tendency to group you among Igbo. Yeah, so we want to equally show the whole world who we truly are. We are distinct people, unique people with unique culture, in terms of cuisine, marriages, and all of that. And Isoko is one of those tribes that really has something to learn from in terms of marriages. Yes, cases of infidelity are like non-existent. Although that's not to say they don't, but they are like non-existent, because a typical Isoko woman that is married obviously will not want to do those funny things that a lot of people do, because that is the way they are brought up. We're not talking about single girls now. We're talking about married women. There are cultures where even after marriage, women still keep boyfriends and what have you, sugar, whatever.
But you can't try that with.
That is never done in Isoko, because nobody will tell you. You will tell the world that you did it. Oh. Yeah, you will be the one to tell the world that you did it, because you can't hide it. It will only take a little time. So they are so, this culture has, pervaded the entire place to the extent that in terms of marriages, yes, we really don't have much problem. The only thing you can talk about is whether we are able to really make all the provisions to keep the marriages. Yeah, the economy could be an issue, but Isoko man cherishes his wife so much to the point that, as I'm here, if Tinubu as a president make any mistake, I will cut off his head because of my wife. So that is the way we rate our women.
So there have been talks about the fact that it's easy to get married to an Isoko lady because they don't give you a whole lot of bill.
We don't sell. That is the point. We don't sell our ladies. At the point of marriage, you'll be told that we don't sell them. My community, for instance, the normal bride price is just 120 naira. The only thing you will do that will cost you money is the drinks you will buy and all of that. The items you buy, they are even for your own use, because you buy them for your wife. They will tell you, buy this number of wrappers and all this. They are for your wife. So because in about time we discover that after marriages, men don't even provide this thing. So we want you to provide them before we release the girl to you. So it's for your own good at the end of the day. We really don't. in terms of cost, we don't have issues with that. We really don't have issues with that. So we are people, great. This
colorful.
Yeah, and that is part of our cultural display. You know, a number of times you hear this Isoko Tolopia. Almost every Isoko festival, the cutlass, the machete, whatever, is always branded, you know. You see, yes, for demonstration, cultural demonstrations and all of that. But yes, generally, Isoko culture is a decent one because we respect humanity, we respect ourselves, and we treasure, you know, humanity generally. That is why when a stranger gets into Isoko land, more often than not only is he easily identified, the kind of treatment he gets, we don't even get it as members of the place. Yeah, we treasure them. So a number of times you find out that people, except they have so much to attend to outside, when they come in, they don't like living. Yeah, that spirit of good neighborliness, we have it. So on that day we are talking about, on the 28th of October, at the National Stadium, we want to exhibit this particular, you know, culture. We want to display it. We want to show the world what we have. And again, I've equally seen on screens and you know, papers, some things they displayed as the biggest drum in the world. Yes, you know, when you have not gone out of your father's compound, you think it's the biggest. Yes, you need to step out. I want to believe that my community parade is the tallest
drum.
Drum in the world, not the one they have shown. So they should come.
It will be soon.
We can't bring it here. We certainly cannot bring it here. But we know that with time, with people like you, will be able to get such documentary to show some of these things to the rest of the world. So that they will know.
Interesting. We'll come to the aspect of telling our stories, exporting our culture and all of that. But I am interested in the cuisine.
Good.
The food.
Yes.
Talk to us about...
Veronica, you really need to be here. you really need
I like food.
You know, have you seen, food is actually... People see food.
There's the original Bangan style.
Yeah. It's the soup itself. But when you talk about fish, it's just this oil exploration that has actually subjected us to much of this challenge of what to eat. Otherwise, we eat fresh fish from the fresh waters, you know. But pollution has dealt a very terrible blow on the, you know, ecosystem. Otherwise, fish is usually, you know, a normal, when a child cries, that's what you use in trying to appease the child. Look, just take and eat. Because, yeah, you see it everywhere. But today, it has become such a scarce commodity because of our exploration. Unfortunately, we are not benefiting so much from the oil that is being explored or exploited. The land is just being, you know, exploited without any commensurate, you know, replication of, you know, the advantages that should emanate from such a situation. But in terms of the cuisine, we have a lot of them. Rice, those ones are foreign, whatever. But our main food, you talk about banga soup, pepper soup. So then Ogo soup.
This is common amongst the Niger Delta region.
Yes, Ogo soup is actually more associated with the Urhobos. But like I told you, a lot of affinity exists between the Urhobos and the Isoko. So yes, you will find that. And on that day, I will make special reservation for you, you know, to test all of the Ogo soup, banga soup, and even pepper soup. It's not these ones that you go to some of these joints to
That's
eat.
why I said the original
one. When you come, you see pepper soup at its best, at its peak. That is, you see, what you call ukodo is the pepper soup itself. Really, yes. That is, but more often than not, the way we actually describe ukodo is a kind of food that people contribute to make.
Really?
That is why among Isokos you hear that you don't use one person's items to prepare ukodo. You know, usually it's a matter of people
contribute here and here.
But then even that ukodo comes in format of pepper soup. So the pepper soup, the original version of it is what you get on that day, not this adulterated one that you just, you know, they put some of those white flavors that you think you enjoy it at its best. So be there. The banga soup, the same thing, you know. There are ways we prepare it that you will know that these are the real owners of this particular cuisine. So you will feel a lot.
Of course, because the taste will come different.
Certainly.
But is the event all about, you know, displaying all of this, the food, the cultural display, and all? Is that all? Well,
that is a major part of it. Because culture distinguishes people. culture identifies people. You see, if you see me facially, ordinarily you will not be able to tell where I'm really from. But at the time I begin to exhibit certain, dispositions, you begin to look at it. Could it be this person is from here? At the time you now listen to my language, you'll be able to tell. So we want to show everything about the Isokos. Even in the way we marry, the way we, relate with people and all of that, we'll do that. Then event equally will be an opportunity for us to equally recognize some of our illustrious sons and daughters who have been able to, make their mark in their various fields of endeavor. And there a lot of them. We have the likes of General Alexander Ogumudia, the former CDS, is one of those to be honored. You have so many of them. There, even the former president of ICAN, Dame Onome Adewi, is one of us. So many of them. There are many, really many. We want to identify with them and to encourage others to emulate such steps. Again, we have come to a point where we now want to equally have a place we can call our own, a rallying point, the Isoko Civic Center. Yes. So the Isoko Civic Center, we're going to do some fundraising on that day to be able to, put the structure in place where you can easily relate to the Isoko people. Okay, I want to see Isoko people, or I want to know about. There you can, you can easily identify with it. And I'm sure that at the end of this event, we're most likely going to, create our website where, images of this and every other thing that you need to know about Isoko will be eventually domiciled. So it's an all-embracing event. Then, importantly, we need to understand, like I said, we want to show to the world that we're a distinct people. We have our identity. Why is this important? It's very important. Very important. At this time? And especially for this part of the country. It's so easy for them to group people together. We are not saying that the people with whom you are grouping us are bad people. Because some of those communities, Isoko does not have a particular origin that this is where all of them came from. We came from different places. Some actually came from Igbo land. Some came from other places. So to now just group everybody that does not speak your language as Omo Igbo, I think it's an error. We are too educated in this part of the world to make that kind of a mistake. The fact that you find Europeans doesn't mean that everybody is a Briton. So that is part of the issues we want to, make very clear on that day too, because, in Nigeria we have several ethnic nationalities, several, languages and the rest of them. We want to put our own in the forefront so that you can easily identify who we are. And then you will be able to tell, that these are people of this place or that place. A lot of, when you go to a place like Ajegula, you are likely going to feel a lot of, the impact of Isokos in that community. There are so many there. And we have a way of life that you cannot just begin to, just push aside. Because a number of times people try to describe the Isoko man as a proud person. You call him proud because he knows what he is and what he wants. Yes, that self-esteem that he has. He doesn't want to throw it just because of anything. We respect ourselves. So a number of times people tend to see it as, pride. But there's nothing wrong with even pride. It's only when, if you don't have pride, who are you? Are you a human being? But how you exhibit it is the issue. So sometimes, this part of the world, people greet and they prostrate, you lie down, and they call that respect. Even sometimes, even after doing that, you can see it's all the person behind, We don't do that.
Oh, okay.
We don't do that. But that is not to say that we don't respect people. Are you following? So respect is not about that show, that public show. So we equally want to let people know that when we greet and we don't lie down, it does not show disrespect. So many things we want to put straight on that day.
Okay, so there's this focus also on family values I've noticed with Isoko people, where you see people of the same parentage, you also see cousins and everybody all together.
Yes.
They don't miss. What has led to all of that in the past? What has led to building the bond and family?
Yeah, you see, a typical Isoko community sees every child as a product or a community asset. You see, the child is only your own when he's still a fetus. The moment the child comes out, the child is celebrated and it becomes a community asset. So everybody has a responsibility to ensure that that child is properly raised. Because if at the end of the day you see a child that is doing some things, or the parents are not able to do a few things to keep the child straight, and you decide to ignore just because you feel you are comfortable. At the time the child begins to exhibit whatever evil that will emanate from that, you will be a beneficiary of it, or a victim, whatever you call it. You know, so we see the child as a community asset. So everybody rallies around. That is why we hardly talk about cousins. We hardly talk about cousins. We actually talk about brothers and sisters. Practically everybody is either a child or a brother or a sister. That's the way we see ourselves. So you have this extended family lifestyle,
right,
so well pronounced, that in a home you will not easily tell who is the biological child, because a typical Isoko family takes care of both, you know, siblings and all of that, and everybody just, until they get to a point where they can, you know, find their feet. That's the way we live our life, community lifestyle, you know, and it has never really disappointed us over time. So you still find some communities who gather resources to even sponsor children. Yeah, that still happens. Though the so-called Western civilization that we have embraced is creating some little bottlenecks.
We have seen the
people now begin to talk about, you didn't call me before you. That has never been part of our life.
Right, we are seeing the influence of Western culture.
Yes.
In fact, some persons say that our culture is being eroded as a result of embracing this. But how is it that the Isoko people are still able to hold on to their culture?
Yeah.
What value are they seeing that they are still holding strongly to this?
Yes,
this culture?
as a matter of fact, integrity is something that we cherish so much. And good neighborliness is equally something. We are always our brother's keeper. And there are so many things. Then we equally place so much value on marriages. Fidelity is critical. So we don't tolerate infidelity in marriages. So there are a lot of things that have actually strengthened the kind of bond that exists among the Isokos. You know, so because of that, their respect generally, then for elders in particular, is critical. Today you now find children who have, through one way or the other, made some little money, and they now feel that they're, But when you go to community settings, they will still tell you who you are, you know. Where you want to show yourself more than who you truly are, and you don't have the kind of wealth that can actually be verified, that they can tell that this is how you made your money. You equally, no, your money you will spend and make all the whatever, but they will tell you when the chips are down, they will let you know where you truly belong. So we don't really celebrate just anything money. We want to be sure that what you are spending is actually earned. So that discipline is there. So in a way, because we still sustain this kind of attitude of, you don't just jump in and say, because you have done this, then you are that, we have been able to, you know, sustain that pace to this point. Though it is getting a bit, you know, difficult to actually keep it 100% because of the influence of, you know, alien cultures and the rest. But then, to a large extent, we are still who we are.
So like
still keeping it, more than 70%.
And people are able to pass that down to their children.
Exactly. That is why today my child cannot come to my house with something that I know I did not provide, going to school. You know, you come home with a biro that I know I didn't buy, you will tell me how you came about the biro. You know, those questions are still, we still ask those questions. And that is one way of sustaining that lifestyle, that character that we have always treasured. Because we feel that a good name is better than riches. And you need to sustain it. So it's not just about, oh, I have so much. That's why among those we are going to honor, they are not necessarily the richest in the community. You know, people of value, people who have been able to show to the world that, yes, we are capable of this in their own right. They've been able to contribute meaningfully to development. Some are big estate developers in Lagos here, and all of that. You know, some are community leaders. We are recognizing what they have done, the impact they have brought to bear on the Isoko people. So, for others to be encouraged. Those who are, you know, grew up in Lagos, most times they grow up with, a lot of them grow up with the values of the neighborhood, where you'll be in a compound, sometimes you don't even know who is in the next apartment. We don't really live our lives like that. We want to be sure of what is happening to our neighbor, you know. So those are some of the things that will play out eventually at this event. It's going to be a very, you know, huge gathering.
Is it just the Isoko people that are meant to come?
No, not at all. That is why I'm inviting you, Veronica. That is why I'm saying you should come over. If it's just about the Isoko people, we won't even come here to discuss it, because we will reach out to them. but we want the rest of the world to felicitate with us. So come and rejoice with us.
It's a free event.
Hey, exactly. You don't need to register. You don't need to pay anything. Just come and be part of it. We'll give you a seat. You watch the whole thing live. And at the end of the day, you'll be
where is this happening again?
It's happening on the 28th of October at the National Stadium, the indoor sports hall, the basketball sports hall. Yes, it's about I think that's the first hall once you enter the main entrance. Yes, that's where the whole thing will be happening.
I think you have to be careful eating banga and start because
no, just
going to sleep.
Just keep just keep the space for that day, and you will have enough banga. You see, do you know that even the rice we eat too, the way we prepare our coconut rice is another.
Banga rice.
Yeah, we have banga rice.
I saw a video of how they prepare the coconut rice, and I was wondering.
Yeah, you need to be there. We are going to put all this on display so that the world will know that we have something to actually showcase.
And it's good as we have all of these things in Nigeria.
Nigeria is about when it comes to culture.
We have it in abundance.
I'm telling you, the diversity has added so much value. But unfortunately, we are not really doing much. Because all these ones that people marry in the city room, by the time they get to the bedroom, marriage is over. We are not. That's not part of our life. You know, people just pick marriages. They see like you are buying an item in the market. You can buy it here, just remove the wrapper and throw it there. And we don't do that. Marriage is a lifetime thing among us. So we cherish the values that are attached to it.
Interesting. We'll have to leave the conversation here.
Thank you.
Dr. Dan Ekere, President, Isoko Development Union, Lagos State, and lecturer, Unilag. Thank you so much for your
time. Thank you, Veronica and Theophilus. It's been a pleasure being here.
And I'm certain that...
I'll be watching out.
We'll definitely
and I will call this station to confirm.
Yearly event.
No, we do it once in 3 years, really.
Oh, once in 3 years.
Yes.
Oh.
And I will confirm from the studio whether you are on duty. If I don't see you, I will know that you choose not to.
Go and eat banga and start.
So prepare to be here, okay? Prepare to be there.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You are all invited.
All right.